Ty, if you'd take just a second and talk through that lead that came in and your time with this lady. I think you spent a couple of hours with her to write this $220 a month app, Baltimore app.
Yeah.
Would you mind taking a second?
Yeah. No problem. Um, to start with, because when she called in, she was sitting in line picking up her granddaughter from school. And so
Yeah.
she was kind of in a rush already. So I wasn't thinking this was going to go anywhere initially, and we started talking and she was just kind of push, 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 and we finally started talking. I broke her down a little bit to kind of figure out what she was looking for, you know, and then she was still kind of hesitant, and I could tell in her voice like she wasn't going really trying to give me any time to talk. And so we started breaking it down. I said, "So look, let me because there was a trust issue, because she's already said she had some coverage already and blah blah blah." So we started talking, and well, let me at least send you my business card, okay? And that we can kind of look at that, give you something to see, something you can, see who we are. And she's heard of some of the company trends. I gave her some companies, but so and she heard of Mutual of Omaha, so I know them, and so I sent her my business card. Okay, now we can talk. And it was that trust level, and the conversation completely flipped once she got there. It was she opened up and then she started talking about so she was getting ready to buy this $50,000 whole life policy from State Farm. I said, I tell you what, I said, I'm not, you don't even have to give me the price, but let's talk about let me see if I can get you qualified for that. I got a company I know I could probably beat the price, hands down, save you some money, probably even get you more coverage than what you're willing to pay for that. And so we got into it, and she qualified for Baltimore. So I said, okay, so I broke it down, and she was going to pay $250 for a $50,000 policy. So, and it was only like 189 or something with a priority. And we ended up bumping it all the way up to 60,000 with the accidental rider. And,
Mm.
you know, and she only spent 225. So she saved her money and put an extra 10 grand in her pocket. But I didn't even think it was going to go anywhere at the beginning because she was pushy, 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 until it actually broke down and built some trust with her. It was a whole different ball game.
Ty did what's needed to be done. And Paul, you're exactly right. A lot of agents would have blown that call off
Mm.
because she's in her car, she's pushing back, and I'll just get a different lead. This person's not sufficiently disturbed. The great salespeople find a way to make a connection with everybody. This lady was a buyer, but she's not buying without because she had money.
Mm-hmm.
She had
She's
money. People that got money look for credibility before you get their money, right? Ty worked through it. He worked through it. It took him a while to be able to get that business card. They're going to push back. And you might have to move over to another part of the presentation and then understand that once I've got a little comfort here, now I've got to go back and I've still got to instill that credibility. Still got to instill that credibility. Now I get permission to send that business card. Now I talk about that business card. Ty was fighting a well-known name of State Farm.
mm.
She doesn't know Ty, right? She ain't buying from Ty as opposed to State Farm
Or
because that's
agent
some
she's had
form
for a long
of
time,
credibility.
home
Yeah,
insurance, uh,
damn right.
everything else, auto insurance. She had everything, all her insurances with them. And then she said, she was almost, she's like, I think I'm just gonna stick with that. So well, until you find out, let me at least give you something to turn down before you, see what your options are. You'd be
There you go.
surprised.
There you
And
go. And it paid handsomely for doing it. And it was what, probably a 2 hour phone call.
yeah, well, we was fighting. Yeah, we had to go through drive-throughs and everything.